Hello, thank you very much for tuning in to this week's section of reads. This should be on the YouTube channel James13 Wicca. The information on the decks and the dice will be below. Other than that, if you would like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you very much for watching. Let's go ahead and get into your selection. Hello, Virgo. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Virgo? You're right in the middle of it. How did you end up in this situation? It's good. Ironically, it's good, and it's very well defined. It seems like it's going well. I feel like you're in a position that, like, maybe you didn't really want to be in? Or how did you end up in this situation? That's a good question. Take it with a grain of salt. There's a lot of different flavors of Virgo. How many cards do I have to put out? Come on. The situation is good, but I keep getting this energy of, like, is it stress or is it kind of like judgment went in your favor? You got something. For some of you, maybe you moved ahead. It could be a management position. It could be the head of a situation. Maybe for some, I keep getting for some of you, maybe it's like a property situation. Like you got this property that you wanted. Maybe it's a business that you started. It's very sound, whatever it is. It was a very good decision. You did very well with it. There's a very positive energy here with the Sun card. Judgment in your favor. Whatever it is good. But at the same time, I feel like it takes up a lot of my time. And even though there's a very positive energy here, I feel like I'm constantly trying to keep up with this situation. Even though you're succeeding. You are succeeding. And there's a lot of pleasure here. But I feel like I'm constantly having to keep an eye on everything. I feel like I'm the one who has to keep an eye on everything. I have to keep doing it. I have to make sure this is. You may have help and you may have support, but I feel like I have to keep telling other people what I need done. I have to keep other people online. I have to keep everything in focus. I have to make sure everything gets done. I'm not doing it by myself, but I feel like I have to regulate it to make sure it all gets done correctly. It does seem like it's a lot of work. You are succeeding though. So you have success here, but at the same time, I'm like, I have to keep a lookout for what's coming next. And I feel like I love it and I hate it at the same time. I don't know why I'm struggling with that, but I feel like I love it and I hate it at the same time. Love it and I hate it. I love it and I hate it. Very positive energy though. You are doing really well with it. You are doing really well with it. So, are you enjoying it, or what's the deal? Like, why are we doing this reading? Because there's more coming forward, but there's a lot of, like, positive cards, but feeling kind of stuck with it at the same time. It's weird. Are you willing to transition into the next level? Do you want to? Just because there's a next level doesn't mean you have to take it. Do you want it? The world is coming up in question, like, what way are you going to take the next version of this? Whatever the situation is, you're doing a lot. But when they're saying step into your power, it's not about the success. And I think that's why I keep mentioning that. Like, you're already successful. The stepping into your power is like, is this what you want? Does this work for you? There's a good moment coming up. Things are going to get really good again. A very positive moment. So if it's for example, if it's property, maybe you're bringing it to a beautiful level, and it's like it's at a really good level. If it's a job, maybe you're getting another promotion, or like things are adding up the way you want it to. Whatever it is, it's hitting this really. It seems like it's almost like an event. It's almost like, you know. So it reminds me of like a wedding, but I don't understand how that's fitting in here. If that's fitting, I don't know. Maybe you've been dating somebody and you've been putting in all the work to make sure it works out right. And then you've kind of put forward that you want to get married and you got that working and you're hitting this pinnacle where it could be like that. There's this pinnacle where it's coming together very beautifully and I'm having a great moment. But this might be the pinnacle. Is that the right way I'm supposed to be saying that? Pinnacle, the crescendo, the high point. It's great that you're going to get here. The question is, what do you want after that? What's not going to serve you is to let go of the reins. They're kind of giving a heads up here. Because maybe there's a moment here where you're like, I hit the goal. I achieved the goal. But they're saying, once you achieve the goal, they're saying, if you let go of the reins, that's this stuff. They're saying, it's not gonna satisfy you like it has. The success that you've enjoyed up to this point will not continue. Which is weird, because it's kind of like getting along with other people, working with other people, sharing the load more, and just saying like, I guess we'll see what comes next. That doesn't seem to work out for you very well. That's they're saying that's the direction that's going to cause things to change in a way that you may not care for. Other people may like it, but you may not like it like you have. Another possibility here is deciding what will happen next. Okay, so you've had success up to this point. There's a high point coming up. But this is like they're saying when the world comes up next, what's the next chapter of the story like for you? Are you going to let somebody else dictate the next chapter, or are you going to keep the success you've enjoyed and create a whole new part of this story based on what you want, but it's going to be more of the same of how you've been experiencing it, where you're calling the shots, putting it where it needs to go? There's another level you could attain where you could continue to enjoy the success, the level of success you've had, but you have to keep the gauntlet. You have to keep the commanding scepter. I don't know why I'm saying that. You have to be the commander. If it's going to continue being successful the way you've been enjoying it, you have to continue being the commander. If you start sharing that with other people, the success you've known will not be the same. Other people may enjoy it. You probably won't, at least not to the level you have. It's not a decision that has to be made quickly. It doesn't have to be a fast decision. Whatever this next phase is, you can take a pause and re-add into it. I feel like this is an either or. It's either going to kind of go a different direction than you wanted and you're not going to like it. Can we get more with this Two of Swords? Because that seems weird, the way that's popping in. Yeah, if I let somebody else take it, somebody else is going to create what they want from this story. And like it's almost like taking a murder mystery and making it into a children's story. It's kind of like, that doesn't match. That's not at all where I was going with this. This was a murder mystery. This wasn't made for kids. Why are you taking it that direction? That makes no sense. That seems to be where it goes. Somebody else takes it over and they make it a whole different thing. It feels that different to me too. To me, it doesn't make sense why you took it from a murder mystery to a children's story. That doesn't make sense to me. Or, yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. Or the other version you could go with, this seems to be like one way it could go. Or the other way it could go, because it gets blocked and it don't like it. It doesn't go the way I want to. Or the other way it could go is like, I start to plan out a new direction, and they're like, you definitely have what it takes to make this a success, but they're saying you have to be in the commander's seat. If you want what you want out of this situation, if you want to continue to enjoy it, you got to stay in the commander's seat. It's kind of like, I started this as a murder mystery, and the next book is also going to be a murder mystery. I don't know. It just seems so strange to me. It's just taking it like, I know there's more with this. All right, so what else did I need to say with that? Four of Wands, bonded right into it, and taking out the random energy. It has to be structured too, but that's your thing. I don't see that being a thing. Other people, I feel like if you set parameters and boundaries and like expectations, this can go great. This can be a wonderful thing still. But then again, this is continuing on. If you go into this version of it, I feel like I still have that I love it and I hate it at the same time. I feel like I love it and I hate it at the same time. What else am I supposed to say about this? It's up to you how you want this story to go. I feel like they're just trying to give you something to work with, and just to realize if you kind of step back and you let somebody else take the reins, they're going to take it somewhere that you don't want it to go, and you're not really going to like it. Which some of you may be like, well, I don't want to lead it anymore, so if that's what it is, then that's what it is. And some of you may be at peace with that. Others of you may be like, well, that's not going to be okay. That's not going to work for me. So if I have to be the one leading the show to make it go where I need it to go, to make it be what it is, maybe I'll do that then. What is the energy around Virgo over here? Anything else with that? The Lover's card reversed. And the Six of Swords kind of coming in like this. So the energy needs to be focused. The Lover's card reversed, to me it's like there's two. One of the versions of the Lover's card is the Gemini energy, and when it's reversed, when it's out of balance, it splinters everywhere and it goes nowhere. It's like looks in every direction and moves nowhere. It just gets it's paralysis by analysis. That's that thing. Things do not happen. Things do not happen on their own. This energy needs direction. It needs somebody to like direct it forward. It might need some motivation too. The energy just seems to not link up the way it needs to. It needs direction. It seems to be very... It wants to go somewhere. It just doesn't seem to go there on its own. It just doesn't seem to create anything on its own. It just doesn't seem to happen. These two, like, this is a very self-sufficient card, but this is like success through the stress, but like not without direction. It needs direction to make that happen. Like, that's what they're highlighting, because I kept looking at this. There can be success here, but it needs direction to happen, and it doesn't have it on its own. It just doesn't. It does seem to be respectful, though. As you keep moving things forward and you show the success, it seems to adhere to that, and it seems to enjoy that. I also see like little opportunities. I don't know what this is. It depends on how this reading is affecting you. Every now and then you might give this energy an opportunity. Like, okay, oh, you want that to happen? I think that can add into this. You head it up, make it happen. I'll pull it all together and let me know what you want to do, and then we'll see what we can make happen. And I feel like when I hand that over to them, like, all right, we can do that as a side project. Pull together all your resources, give me all the information, and then we can see what I can see what I can do to help you make that happen. It falls flat. But if you keep doing that every now and then, like they bring up an idea, they're like, we could do this, we could do that. Okay, gather the information, and we can have a meeting next week, and we could talk about possibilities. Gather me all the information you can get, and we'll see what we can actually make happen. I feel like it falls flat. I feel like at most it ends up being 2 to 3 meetings where it's kind of like they bring a little bit of information and you say, well, we need more about this, that. Like you give them 5 things. We need more direction here and there. And then it comes back in a second meeting. You're like, all right, well then price these things. And I feel like they lose momentum and they splinter off and they stop going that direction. Which, as long as you keep giving them an opportunity to prove themselves, it'll be fine. But I don't see it going anywhere. The plan you set will go forward, and I feel like it's almost like diplomatic energy, like, you know, I just want to keep people happy, so I keep giving the opportunities, but when I put it back on them to like pull together the resources, show me what we can make, show me what you want to make happen, show me where we would get this, show me like how long it would take to get these permits to make that happen, who would you contact to make this happen. When you push it back on them to like pull together the plan, I don't feel like they really do it, and it just kind of dissipates. But it might work very diplomatically to kind of like, I keep the door open, I'm willing to work with you, but you got to put the footwork in. You want those plans to happen, you got to create the plan first, and then we'll review it together. And they just don't seem to make it happen. I don't know, that seems to be another thing here. That's the energy around you, it needs direction. It just doesn't seem to work right unless it has direction, and I feel like you're the anchor that can give it direction. Anything else? All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.